Welcome to Creators X, a collaboration with Vultr where we look at the humans behind the tech beyond the speeds and feeds. Really thrilled to have Tony on the show next. Tony, thank you for taking the time today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, so former CEO of Exostellar, recently acquired by Qualcomm.
Last 3 weeks.
Yeah, just
Very
weeks
fresh.
off the press.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What does that feel like?
It feels great. You know, we always had a bold mission to go change the world. There's only so much you could do as a startup. Now that you're part of a bigger company, we just have so much more muscle, scale to do the things that we wanted to do. So we're pretty excited.
I can imagine you're pretty excited, and truly congratulations to you and the whole team. And I have a lot of friends over at Qualcomm, great squad over there. Speaking of muscle and speed, you have a background in competitive dirt bike racing, correct?
That is correct. I grew up with dirt bikes, when I was a teenager. I just love the, being in the dirt, not thinking about anything else, that's happening around you, and just having fun with a bunch of folks, yet winning at the end.
I had a feeling you wouldn't have become who you became if that competitive spirit wasn't rooted in something else. How long have you been dirt bike racing?
Well, I did it, when I was a kid, till about like 30s. It's a long time ago.
Do you still ride any bikes now?
I have an electric bike.
Oh, cool. Which one?
Yeah, mountain bike. It's specialized. It is very nice, and it gets me around. It's fun. Yeah.
So, what do you think that companies today could learn from dirt bike racing?
First of all, every company in the world is going to be a technology company, and every company in the world is going to be an AI company. I don't care if you're a butcher shop, if you're making motorcycles, if you're making cars, everything needs AI to perform better, to get rid of the mundane jobs that people don't want to do, and to really help human beings excel at what they do. So, I think what we could do is how do you ride that wave in a very rapid way, because it is a race. Everyone's trying to be better. Everyone's trying to take advantage of AI. AI is kind of confusing. Not everyone knows what it's good for, what it's not, what's responsible, what it's not. So it's a bit of a race going on to do that. And like our job as technology companies is to make it as easy and affordable and accessible as possible.
Yes. So what brand of bike would that be? If you were the most accessible and easy to ride?
It's a Ducati.
Yeah, baby. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I love that. What would you tell companies that are experiencing that tension and anxiety that comes before a race like this, or in the very beginning of a race like this? How would you advise them to get more comfortable on the bike?
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, for you to be able to be successful in this AI world, there is really a number of things that you need, a number of tools that you need, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, you need a partner, that provides the compute technology for you. And that's where we're really excited about working with Vultr, because they're a great partner. They're trying to make it very easy, affordable, and simple for people to have access to compute if and when they need it, right? Secondly, the infrastructure, you have to manage it very carefully, because it's very expensive, it's hard to get it, and when you get it, you want to make sure that it's highly optimized. That's where a technology like Exostellar comes in, that we want to make sure that people take advantage of every ounce of GPU that's available to them and not have it go to waste. And ultimately, it's their own applications, it's their own LLMs or the models that they've trained to really do the things that they need to do, whether it's on the training side or whether they've done all that work, now they're inferencing and they're trying to drive the applications. So, that's what is happening, and that's what we as technology providers have to make it easier and more accessible for people to do it in an easy way.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are talking about making it easier, but I think there's less people actually making it easier than are claiming to on the billboards around us here on the show floor. But I can definitely tell that this partnership in particular is working on that. I mean, it's basically like making the bike or the vehicle as fuel efficient or as distance optimized as it possibly could be, even if it's your mountain bike. When it comes to your personal life, how are you using AI?
I use it in a lot of different ways. I use it a lot for competitive analysis.
Oh, yeah.
to know what's happening around us. I use it a lot for looking at trends, that are coming, especially in the open source world. There's just so much amazing things out there, and you don't want to kind of like build everything yourself. You want to take advantage of what's out there. I take advantage of it for, building strategies now, like in this new role, I'm the head of business development and strategy. We need to constantly think about, what is the right strategy for us as a team? What is the right strategy for Qualcomm as we enter the data center AI space? And what is the right strategy for our customers? So AI has become like a buddy, is a sounding board for me to kind of go look at these things. And and lastly, it's great for what if scenarios because, I have 1,000 ideas. Obviously, we can't go implement every one of them. It's a good way to kind of like do sensitivity analysis, and try to figure out like which one is the most practical one given this customer type, the applications that they want to run. So you position things the way that they would understand it. So I use it mostly for business. When I was a CEO where I am right now, obviously our engineering team use it in a different way to write code, test code, so it's all around us.
Yes, it is. It is all around us. What do you hope that this new technological revolution and perhaps this recent acquisition gives you more free time to do?
More free time to do. I haven't had the free time to think about the free time.
That's fair.
But I love traveling. I've got like 3 million miles with different airlines. I've been on every possible, country that you can imagine, but there's still a lot that I haven't covered. So if I do get some free time, I want to travel more with my wife and family and just see the beautiful world around us.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I certainly hope that both the recent news as well as tech affords you a little time. You deserve it, Tony. My goodness, don't deprive yourself. That's a shame. Is there a conversation at home around the dinner table with your family and your wife about AI, or do you keep work separate?
No, my wife is more into real estate and, developing properties and things like that. And she's very good at it and she enjoys doing that. And she does use ChatGPT a lot. Like right now, we're looking at buying windows and different things and she compares the codes. So she's very good at that.
Wow.
And even responding to, officials, for getting our permits and stuff like that. So she uses it in a very special way. And then obviously, we do it in a different way.
Yes, but I think those niche use cases like your wife's are really important. I mean,
absolutely.
When you say every company is going to be an AI company, that's the window people, that's the tint on the window people, that's right. There's so many different layers of that, the real estate folks, all of it.
Absolutely.
All right, one question for you to close us out here. Lots of people on the precipice of embarking on their implementation journey when it comes to AI, or even just tinkering around, right? I feel like there's some people who are totally full throttle and some people still in the garage, if you will. What would be your advice, less so to the companies, but more to that individual who's a little nervous about experimenting?
Yeah, the good thing about AI is that it uses itself to make it easy for people to consume it. So if you think about ChatGPT, look at the way we were using, like I got introduced to AI in like mid 1980s when I was at Bell Northern Research. We had robots that was delivering mail. It was very clunky. It was hard to program it, all that kind of stuff. And then fast forward all the way to where we are right now with ChatGPT, where you're speaking with AI, you're taking advantage of it, you're brainstorming, you get an advice. So it's just so much easier to consume it, to jump in. You shouldn't be afraid of it. And then it could be super sophisticated as well. It doesn't have to stay simple. So if you're doing forecasting, if you're running a manufacturing plant, if you're doing car production, there is just so many different variables. Like when I was at Microsoft before this, we had the digital twins where we were creating a digital replica of every environment and every person to then see like how can we make them more productive without them having to do a lot of trial and errors. So, you shouldn't be afraid. It's very easy to get started and you can get super sophisticated, as your business grows.
Yes, don't be afraid to dig in. Start small. Can even be for the window tints in your house
That's
if that's what you're looking for. Tony, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Savannah. Nice
And
speaking with you.
I look forward to the next time we chat, hearing about the trip that you took with your family.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You heard it here first, where you can learn about dirt bike racing and AI for real estate. My name's Savannah Peterson. You're watching Creators X with Vultr, where we put the human in tech. Thanks for coming to learn with us.